Now, Tony Abbott has outlined some of his plans to deal with what he calls a budget emergency. In his budget reply last night, he said, although the coalition found some of Labor's budget savings objectionable because of the deficit, it may not oppose them. As well, an increase in compulsory superannuation will be delayed, helping save $5 billion. And the carbon and mining taxes will be abolished.
A coalition government will keep the current income tax thresholds and the current pension and benefit fortnightly rates while scrapping the carbon tax.
Yeah. Mr Abbott said people want a grown-up government like John Howard's and even Bob Hawke's.
Well, let's check in with our big guns of politics this morning. Labor MP Kevin Rudd is in Brisbane, and here in Melbourne, Shadow Treasurer Joe Hockey. Gents, good morning to both of you. Joe, I want to start with you. Who's going to pay for tax cuts and pension benefits if the carbon tax is no longer?
Well, Mel, we've outlined a number of details in paying for it, including delaying the superannuation increase for just 2 years. That will save the budget money. We've also said that the public service, which has grown by 20,000 in Canberra since Labor was elected, through natural attrition, we're going to reduce it by 12,000. These initiatives, as a starting point, are based on the fact that the budget is in crisis. It'll never get back to surplus. The debt keeps growing, and Australians are going to end up paying more under Labor if they're re-elected.
Kevin, Mr Abbott said you failed to win the blame game with the states, and he's going to fix that with the white paper on COAG reform. Do you support that?
Oh, Mr Abbott would say anything to win the election. The bottom line is we've achieved agreements between the Commonwealth and the states in a whole bunch of areas on regulatory reform. And there's still a lot of work to do. And remember, some of the states cooperate and others don't. More broadly, though, in the budget, could I just take up what Joe said before? The core assumption underpinning Mr Abbott's House of Cards last night is the use of this term budget emergency, budget crisis. That's what Joe was talking about last week in terms of debt and deficit. The basic fact is this: if that's the case, why did John Howard, the grown-up politician they referred to last night, just say a few days ago that Australia's debt level is low by global standards? And what Joe can never answer is, if it's as bad as they point out, why do all three global credit rating agencies, as the CommSec guy said on your program just before, give this government a AAA credit rating? You pull that out from underneath, the whole house of cards collapses.
Yeah, Joe, he's got a point there. AAA credit ratings right across the board, and even John Howard says we're doing pretty well.
Well, you know what? Kevin said 5 years ago that the deficit would be temporary.
Joe.
Temporary.
Answer the
and
question.
How about it, Kevin? 7 deficits.
Credit rating agencies.
Heading towards... Let me finish.
Credit rating agencies.
Heading towards $370 billion of market value
You
growth.
can't answer the question, can you, Joe?
And I'll tell you about the credit rating agencies, Kevin. Last time Labor was in government, last time Labor was in government, Australia lost its AAA credit rating. The coalition got it back. And now,
back in the 1990s.
And now, I'm being very patient with him this morning. I want to show due respect to a former leader of the Labor Party. And I know he's embarrassed, but I'm trying to be credible. And you know what? All three credit rating agencies recognise that Australia would not be in this position if you, Kevin, had not inherited zero debt and surpluses. So I'd just say to you, please don't boast about the Labor record. Let's look forward. And the fact is, the challenge for Australia going forward is, if we don't deal now with the challenge of the deficit and the debt, when we still have the highest terms of trade in Australian history, when we still have 5 3/4% unemployment, if we don't deal with it now, when the next crisis comes along, there will be total chaos in the economy.
OK, we both had to say there's probably no agreement this week. Some weeks there is, some weeks there clearly isn't, and I'm thinking this week there clearly isn't.
It's just wrong. Can I just add one point? Hey, just one point. Also, at a local level, for all the folk watching the program this morning, We invest in rail projects around the country because the state of our finances is strong. Now take one that we've got here in Brisbane. Story Bridge here, full of cars every morning. We propose a cross-rail tunnel.
Right.
They say they're not going to fund it. 17,000 cars off the road. It's that little stuff which also makes a difference.
OK, before this becomes an election campaign, thank you both. Hopefully we've been fair. You both had a say. Like I say, there's not going to be a compromise this week. Thank you, gents. You have a good weekend.